Fire, fire, fire. ChatGPT Brainrot time. Uh-oh, I can't use my brain. Scary.
I've developed an addiction to AI. My AI is actually on my best friends list.
If you're anything like
That is pretty sad. I ain't gonna hold you.
me, you use ChatGPT for everything. ChatGPT is my counselor, my therapist, my best friend. It knows all my secrets.
Story time on how
Dude, I'm starting to think we're kind of cooked, chat. I think we're kind of cooked.
I almost got kicked out of the University of Michigan my freshman year for using ChatGPT.
Okay, so ChatGPT is down, but we do not panic.
You're literally one.
Why are you panicking because ChatGPT is down? Are we okay? Dude, I'm starting to think that my theory of having the internet turn off is probably gonna, like, cause massive chaos.
AI agent away from making 10K a month.
The most gut-wrenching feeling in the world is when the ChatGPT chat that you've been using for about 6 months starts referencing things that don't exist. It must
It's men too. It's men. Oh my god, ChatGPT Brainrot has reached the men too. Oh no.
be what it feels like to notice for the first time that a loved one has dementia or something.
Everyone's talking about how AI is ruining YouTube, but I believe AI is ruining something much worse.
Everything.
Our own ability to think.
Yes.
ChatGPT has went down.
Google also did that, but Google was less so because you just had a bunch of references that would be selective searches that would feed through and you would have to search through it yourself. Now ChatGPT does it for you and you don't even question it. ChatGPT also makes a lot of mistakes. Keep that in mind as well.
Several times this year, and every time it goes down, it truly exposes people
When the teacher asked for my name, but the ChatGPT servers are down.
who are
Okay, that's
over-reliant
pretty
on
funny.
the AI. People are genuinely losing their minds because they now can't get any of their work done, they can't cheat on their assignments, and apparently they can't even bake a cake.
GPT is down, and I don't know about anyone else, but I have come to the conclusion that I can't use my own brain anymore. Because, for example, right now I want to bake a cake, and normally I ask ChatGPT, how do you make a carrot cake? I can't simply Google something anymore. Like, I need a step-by-step breakdown from my best friend, who is also a robot. And now...
Chat, you guys always bully me and say like, oh, Alana, you don't have any friends. Haha, look at you. You're a loser, VTuber. At least I'm not this person. This is pretty bad.
It's like he's passed away.
I don't, like, you can go on TikTok and find recipes. You can... Is that shirt on the box? Yeah! If you buy a carrot cake mix, doesn't it come out with a box too? Or like a TikTok recipe, or like you Google it and you find a recipe online. It's really not that hard. How do people do it? They have to look up books and go to the library and get books. Jeez, man.
The day I'll go back to bed.
If we as a society are already this dependent on
Surely
ChatGPT
that's
and can't be
fake,
bothered
right?
to Google something the moment the servers go down, we as a society are baked. And not in the fun way.
Yeah,
Cookbooks,
cooked.
Google, I think even the flour bag has a recipe
Best ever banana bread. Yeah, this is gold medal flour. Yeah. Yeah, it has the one at the back.
on it, or just call your grandmother. I'm sure she has a recipe and she would love to hear from you. And of course,
Yeah!
every time ChatGPT goes down,
ChatGPT down. ChatGPT went down. Everyone's losing their minds. ChatGPT is down and people cease to exist. Oh my god, dude. This reminds me of when, like, fucking, I'd be playing, like, League or World of Warcraft back in, like, 2013 and 14, and the servers would die, and everybody instantly goes on social media, on, like, Reddit, and starts, like, messaging each other, or I'd go to school, and they'd be like, oh, yeah, the servers are down right now, I don't know when they're gonna come back up. VTuber went offline. Yeah, time to crown Discord and shit.
everybody goes to Reddit to let everybody else know what they already know is that the servers are down. The caption says, when ChatGPT tells you Australians don't need a visa to enter Chile, but it's wrong and too late now.
this is, why would you take that at face value? I learned that a long time ago. Yeah, I think I like ChatGPT'd something that I thought like would be really quick, and then I spent an hour researching it because I thought it was wrong, and then it turns out it was wrong, and it took something from a Reddit that someone said. Like you can go through the sources of what it says and what it finds, right? Like you can go through it. And I had to like double check it. I was like, so you were wrong, you piece of shit. And then the ChatGPT's like, yeah, I'm sorry. I made a mistake, my bad. Please don't hit me. Always check yourself. Especially for something as serious as this.
People are now relying on ChatGPT for travel information, which, as we know, gets updated. It's not always the same. ChatGPT, of course, can not only have outdated information, it can also hallucinate.
Answered correctly 49% of the time, hallucinated 51% of the time. What? Wait. Clankers can hallucinate? If I beg your pardon? Yo, Itos, they get the 3 months in advance, man.
This is fascinating to me because this was such a simple Google search. Yeah! But it's like people don't want to Google anything now. They don't want to search out information themselves. They just want answers given to them automatically, regardless if it's true or not. I was recently thinking about
source I made it the frick up.
all the know-it-alls in the world, right? I think we all know someone who kind of just says things and you're like, where did you get that from?
Yes.
And I don't know where they get it from. They just pull it out of
all the time. Oh my god, at my work, my old work, before I became a full-time streamer, there was this old lady that would just spit facts, and then if you like proved her wrong and said like, hey, I'm gonna Google that real quick, she'd be like, oh well, you know, that might be outdated. And I'm just like, so why didn't you say that first instead of just saying it like if it's fact? And then you'd get into an argument with them, and then you stop pointing out that you might be wrong.
But they say it confidently because they themselves believe it, and now they're trying to pass it on as truth.
Last night, I went out with friends, and one of my friends brought a friend. We were talking about space, and I said, fun fact, the size of Neptune's storms are so large they could eat Earth. And then little Tagalong speaks up, and he goes, oh, that's not true, bro. That's not true. And I'm like, okay. So I take out my phone, I go to NASA's official website, and I show him with proof that it is true. And he goes, no. He takes out his phone, opens ChatGPT, and says, yo, Chat, is this real? You're using an AI model to fact check NASA.
Why use
Nah, bro, just trust me, bro. Chat, is this real? Dude, what if we made an AI model that was based off of Chat's input, and then whatever one is the majority, that's what we have to take as fact? Dude, that actually would be low-key kind of hard. Like, that would go so hard.
Brain when you have ChatGPT. It's truly amazing to me that people are doubting official sources of truth.
Well, yeah, they also say the Earth ain't flat, and I know that the Earth is flat because I saw it on Facebook one time. That's right.
Truth, such as NASA, and opting for ChatGPT as their source of truth. People are now using AI to cheat during their interviews.
You're leading an army of ants in a battle against grasshoppers. What's your first strategic move?
I think my first strategic move would be to assess the terrain and identify any natural advantages that we can leverage, such as narrow paths or elevated areas.
So you can see the AI has been listening to the conversation and it just outputs.
We are so cooked, man. Yo, Raiders, thank you so much for the raid. We're getting cooked by ChatGPT Brainrot. Dude, my mom takes Facebook as a source. I've pointed out pictures that are very clearly AI, and I've gotten into arguments with my parents. I'm not even kidding. Like, it's a picture of, like, a house, and I say, Mom, that's AI. And she's like, no, it's real. And I'm like, Mom, what kind of house has, like, 16 fucking windows on one side of the house and then none on the other? Are you stupid or something? And then they get mad at you.
the answer and she's kind of reading it off. I understand, okay?
crazy.
I understand. The interviewing process, job hunting, I get it. It
And
sucks.
then they still get declined anyway.
I think
Lamau.
imposter syndrome is something we have all struggled with at least at some point in our careers.
Sure.
And if you can't answer the questions in an interview, I don't know. I feel like you're setting yourself up for failure. I know employers themselves are using AI, so now potential employees are fighting back using AI themselves. But I think this will just lead employers to coming up with new tactics.
Analyze eye movements, response delays, and screen usage. Oh my god. We're getting counters.
To see,
They're
are you
counterplaying
using
it, dude.
AI?
I think we've reached a point with AI where we can confidently say this is not
What if you have like an eye twitch or like you just shift your eyes? Does that mean that you're automatically disqualified? It's like discrimination.
a tool that is revolutionizing learning. This is a nightmare that is destroying learning. Not once have I seen a single student use AI as a resource or in a way that is even remotely ethical. 100% of times when I see students use it, it is so they do not have to think. I'm talking about putting an essay prompt into ChatGPT, not even reading the essay prompt, copying and pasting the results into a doc and submitting it without even reading it over.
More and more teachers are coming out and claiming how AI is terrible for students.
Yeah,
and
I
I'm always
bet.
surprised by the amount of backlash.
So teach them how to use it correctly. There's no correct usage. AI is so bad. It's regurgitating information that it doesn't even verify itself. It's not smart enough yet. Maybe like in, I don't know, 10 years. Oh, we've also seen good usage of AI, for teaching kids math. Do you guys remember that video? I forget what it was about initially. I think it was just showing off the language model or something. And it was a little kid and a dad sitting next to each other, and they had the AI, and he's like, hey, can you help me create an example of like trigonometry for like the little kid so that we can figure it out together, and if we don't get it, then you get to help us step by step. And the AI was like, beep boop, here you go, okay, let me know when you want help. I think that's fine because it's an access tool, so you don't have to spend hours or a lot of money spending it on textbooks or figuring it out so that you can both learn at the same time. I don't think that's a bad thing.
That these teachers get. There's a huge difference in giving AI to an adult to be used as a tool and giving AI to a student to be used as a crutch. An adult already has critical thinking skills, whereas a child hasn't developed their critical thinking yet. These students need to be writing things for
And
themselves.
they don't want to because they also get a massive advantage in terms of like, essentially they're getting the answer without even thinking about it. They're cheating.
Writing,
Why would I
reading,
try? I could
spelling,
just use
all of those
AI.
things lead to critical thinking, abstract thinking, which is the basis of just learning how to
Developing your
learn. How
brain.
can they fact check an LLM if they can't even on their own create their own stories? People also love to compare AI to when calculators were introduced.
But they still made you do multiplications and plus and minus and fractions manually so that you understand what you're inputting into the fucking calculator. I literally had to learn calculus for at least 2 weeks before they gave us or let us use a calculator because you had to do it manually so that you just didn't input it in. That's how I learned, I'm pretty sure. I hated calculus, don't get me wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's how they did it. It wasn't like difficult or anything, it was just like the basis, but yeah.
Have you ever asked a calculator how to boil an egg? Have you ever asked a calculator to
not?
write a resume for you? They're
I made it write boobs.
not the same thing. AI can do way more things than a calculator, including math, kind of.
What? What? No. What? Wow. Damn. This guy putting me to shame, huh? Maybe I'm an LLM.
As the teacher
Stupid
mentioned,
clanker.
students just copy prompts and paste them into ChatGPT. And this is happening so often in universities that professors are now using a Trojan horse to detect AI. The
What?
professors will put something like, mention Dua Lipa. If you don't know She's an artist. But the interesting thing is...
What did they do? Last fall, professors at the university synced the phrases mention Finland and mention Dua Lipa in his and discovered they were using AI. That's smart. That is really smart.
He's an artist. But the interesting thing is...
You didn't even proofread what the computer spat out to, like, see if it's cohesive or not. Yeah, I'm sure there's people that still cheated in that way too, but yeah.
Students aren't even reading what ChatGPT is giving them. They're not even reading their work. They're just submitting the whole thing. And then somewhere in the...
Meanwhile, me, when I was doing my 4-hour, like, statistics exam, at the end when I had to do, like, a massive, like, analysis for a... Oh my god, I can't even remember. It's been a while, but basically the last question, I doubted the answer, like, 5 times. And I almost went overtime because I redid the calculation like fucking 3 times because I didn't trust the calculator.
Essay, it mentions Dua Lipa,
It's so
which
funny.
if you wrote that yourself or if you even halfway wrote it, going back and
or like you're inputting it and then you mistype it and then you just want to make sure.
forth with ChatGPT, you would wonder, why is it talking about Dua Lipa? They're not even reading the prompt. The caption says, ChatGPT is down. Is it too far to ask Snapchat AI for exam answers?
Yeah. Maybe. The fact that she thinks that you can't, like, just go to Grok or something. Like, not that Grok's even, like, reliable or anything. I'm just saying, why would you go to Snapchat AI? Why not go to Gemini or the other ones?
And then it
You're so
uses Taylor
stupid.
Swift's song where it says something like, I've got nothing in my brain. Yeah, because you're using AI for everything. You haven't learned anything, and thus you can't recall anything, and you're not able to do your exam. And you're panicking now when ChatGPT is down. It's interesting that she wants to use a social media's AI to help her cheat on her exam, when it's social media that destroyed our critical thinking skills, and not just the desire to find the truth, but the ability to do so.
I've got a hot take. I think that, I think that this is gonna weed out all the really, really, really stupid people. I don't think it's a bad thing. I hope that there's, like, some sort of, like, I don't know, self-check of the smarter or above average or just average people that don't use AI, and then they get a pass of, like, failing because at least they failed honestly. You could also do the opposite. Absolutely, I totally agree. I think the temptation is like, what is it called? Like Adam's, the apple, you know, with the snake. I forget what it's called. I'm not, like, super biblically versed. You know, like Adam and Eve get the apple, and the apple's the temptation, and that's AI. Yeah. Yeah, like, this is like, it's so tempting, and, like, even, like, the most smart people get fucking corrupted.
People are now relying on ChatGPT
That's
for
scary.
things like hiking, and it's
Why would you do that? I'm thinking we let it happen. I think if you're hiking with ChatGPT, I think it's just like, you know, if it happens, it happens. If you get mauled by a bear and there's clear signs that say there's bears around, and then you say, ChatGPT says there's no bears around here, but the sign says it, and then you keep walking and then you get mauled by a bear, I think that's fine. Sorry, like,
leading users who I guess are not familiar with hiking to go on these mountains that still have snow, and they're wearing sneakers. They're not even...
Nah, that's natural selection. There's no way. Yeah, Darwin had a good theory with that.
even prepared for the reality of what the hike is going to be like, and it's causing all these search and rescue teams to have to go out and rescue these people. People are relying so heavily on ChatGPT that they don't even understand that without cell reception, they can get no help from Chat.
I'm telling you, it's a skill issue. It's a skill issue, genuinely.
GPT.
People like this used to wander out in the woods and just freeze to death. I don't want people to die, but like it's a natural thing. Like animals, it happens too. They get lost and then they die. Like it's the circle of life. Genuinely, I used to. I mean, like, yeah, they still do, but like now there's rescue operations, and you know, people try and find them and stuff. Like back in the day, like if you got lost, you're lost. You're kind of fucked.
Or a rescue team.
If you're not using ChatGPT for everything in your life, you're crazy.
This is by far the most powerful ChatGPT prompt I've ever seen. You are now operating in God mode.
I'm operating in demon mode. Demon mode unlocked. I'm a demon hunter. Ah! You want to see a Super Saiyan? This is a Super Saiyan. Oh my god, this can't be real.
I'm giving you guys right now the exact ChatGPT prompt that will help you
Wombo
manifest your dream life.
And this is how you can have a mental reprogramming of your brain. Here's the prompt.
Older people use ChatGPT as a Google replacement. Maybe people in their 20s and 30s use it as like a life advisor something.
There's an interesting paradox happening with...
Okay, hold on. Chat, I've had some cooked moments where I went to McDonald's because I really wanted McDonald's, but I needed to, like, stay on my protein versus carb, like, regimen. I Googled it and said, what's, like, a good high-protein meal that I can just, like, sate my cravings for? And it said 2 McDoubles. And I was like, holy shit. And I looked at the macros and I even double checked it with the menu prompt. And I was like, holy shit, let's fucking go! I don't think that's bad. It's fine. What do you mean, bruh? Just eat the patties? Yeah, you can also eat the patties. Or you can, like, what you can do is, like, take one take one bun and then squish it in between and you have a bunch of protein. Just read? Yeah, but like, I don't want to read.
AI, where people feel they are genuinely leveling up. They're becoming better, faster, smarter. They're evolving with AI.
Okay, I was in the drive-thru, okay? I didn't have time to read. Relax.
However, the research says otherwise. Earlier this year, the Wharton School of the University of Pennsylvania released research on how we learn with LLMs. Their research showed that when we search for information ourselves, we're more invested, and thus, as we're searching out information, we synthesize and hold on to more of that information. Whereas with ChatGPT,
it's like writing down stuff too. When you're like writing stuff down physically, you're more likely to remember it as opposed to typing it. Yeah, I've had so much better luck with remembering appointments if I write down, like, on a calendar that I wrote something down, because the neuron fires that I remember that I wrote something, then I might go check the calendar just in case. It's like actually a neuron connection.
It just spits out an answer. We read it. We don't really hold on to the information, and we just keep going about our day. We then have the recently released MIT study that shows that people who use LLMs tend to have less brain activity. In this
Let's fucking go, dude.
study, participants were asked to write an essay.
Oh my god, they were wearing a helmet and then writing an essay.
Researchers used an EEG to measure the electrical activity of the brain as users were writing their
I wonder how much your critical information brain is firing if you're watching a VTuber.
essay. They found that the people who only used their brains exhibited the strongest, most distributed networks, and the LLM users displayed the weakest connectivity. This study also highlighted how people who used the LLM had a really hard time recalling what they'd even read or wrote with the LLM. And I know a lot.
This isn't even like, you didn't have to research this. I still remember when I was like in school and my parents gave me a laptop for my graduating present. And they were like, yeah, you should still write down your notes though. And I said, yeah, sure. And then I wrote down notes for a while on my computer and I didn't like remember as much as when I wrote stuff down. And I was like, fuck that. And I stopped using it. outside of like Googling stuff and like, you know, referencing things.
A lot of people have issues with this MIT research,
Yeah.
claiming that it's too small of a sample size. But we also have Microsoft's own research pointing to basically the same thing, that the more we use LLMs, our brains are having atrophy and we're losing our critical thinking. This is all interesting to me because the AI hype usually focuses on how we're all going to unlock all of this knowledge that the average person can learn physics. Yet if they're using an LLM to learn physics, then they're actually learning it at a shallower depth than if they would research it on their own. AI is also marketed to us as allowing us to automate the boring things, when in reality, we're just fact checking what the LLM tells us. We're not even using our creativity and we're not using our critical thinking skills. That's why we're becoming dumber or in my opinion, we really didn't need these studies to show that if you outsource every single thought you have to ChatGPT, that will deteriorate our own ability to think critically and problem solve.
If I can show you how to make money with ChatGPT in the next hour, would you do it?
So I've been training this brand new AI on exactly how to help beginners make money online.
If I had to start from zero and make 10K per month as fast as possible with AI, here are 3 ideas that I know for sure would work.
I love these because they're always like the same ChatGPT prompts, and it's like a pyramid scheme. Yeah, you saw these on, like, oh, you should do these 5 things to make $50 a month extra, and then everybody's doing the same thing and it makes no money.
Stop scrolling, because this AI hack could change your entire 2025 income game.
I'm too cheap to pay for my own. These people are so stupid they don't even realize that, like, if everyone's doing the same thing, even statistically speaking, you get this original ChatGPT prompt that makes you money. If there's 300 people that do the same thing, that dilutes the value of what you're doing. They just don't have, like, the brain capacity to understand even the basics.
Netflix subscription, so let's build our own version of Netflix, and all we're going to need is to go onto ChatGPT. I just sit back, relax.
I learned this when I was like, I don't know, like 13 or 14 years old. When someone releases a video of a spot where you can farm stuff, I can actually cite this to Asmongold. When the frog farm happened, everybody that knew about it before the video dropped was already farming it, but at least it was farmable. After Asmongold released the video about farming frogs for the gold coins on the Timeless Isle, everybody started doing it and it ruined the farm from everybody. Because it would hyper spawn and you wouldn't be able to tag the frogs fast enough, so it sucked. Yeah, so now, like, I learned this from an early age. These people are so dumb they don't even realize it.
And save that Netflix subscription money.
Crash,
What's
exactly.
your vibe today? Smart feed, mystery.
So many people these days are told they need to start a business or a side hustle, and with AI, anyone can code up their own application. Even though these people are now putting users' passwords in an Excel file because they don't know how to set up a database or do proper authentication, but I digress.
Isn't it really still bad at coding? Yeah, like it's not good at it.
I'm thinking about starting a side hustle where I collect dog poop by hand from people's yards and drying them out to put in resin to make jewelry and watches out of. Thinking of calling it Turd Times a Charm. What do you think? This idea is brilliantly
awesome.
unhinged, and honestly, it might just work.
There's a lady on TikTok that makes crystals to send, and it's made out of people's junk. Yeah, they're batter, they're splooge, and their pubes. Yeah, the pube lady, yeah, that one. So I think she already thought of that.
People may be spending money that they don't have to start a side hustle, all because ChatGPT told them it was a brilliant idea. It's like
it's a skill issue, man.
We're so focused on being efficient now that no one cares about honing their skills, about improving their craft. Take the event loop in JavaScript. It's a coding language if you don't know. The event loop, you don't necessarily need to know to write JavaScript code, but it's something that I want to know. It fascinates me and it allows me to write optimized code. But do I truly need to know it to be able to write code? No, the AI knows it. It can write optimal code. But it's like nowadays, I'm viewed as the idiot if I don't want to use AI. Like if I don't want to outsource my brain to the AI, I'm the idiot. Over reliance
more
on
efficient,
ChatGPT is
woman.
the real zombie apocalypse. It's the death of critical thinking. I think this tweet sums up this video quite well. Sometimes in the process of writing a good enough prompt for ChatGPT, I end up solving my own problem without even needing to submit it.
Oh my god.
AI folks have now discovered thinking.
You just are putting your closets on ChatGPT? What happened to the art of getting dressed? What happened to... Fuck, I can't find anything to wear. What am I, last? Beautiful?
I would rather find a fashionable woman and pay her like $10 to look at my closet than trust ChatGPT. That shit's so ass.
Personal joys that we have every day is the art of getting dressed.
He's ranting about how people are now uploading their entire wardrobe to ChatGPT to ask ChatGPT for recommendations on what they should wear, what they should buy. His argument
Hey ChatGPT, how do I wipe my ass?
is that we're all going to look the same now, which I agree. We're all losing our individuality.
I wish I could ask ChatGPT if someone actually asked that, but I don't think it'll answer me that.
Our personality. We all sound the same, actually. Research does show that everybody's kind of just sounding the same now because they're all regurgitating what ChatGPT has told them. Where is individuality? Where is ownership of our work? Where is creativity? When we question nothing and outsource all of our critical thinking skills to an AI, it creates the perfect conditions for tech billionaires like Peter Thiel to control us, which is already happening.
Ah, yippee! All my information is getting gathered without my consent! Woo!
But that's a topic for another video.
Yippee!
Hey, how are you? How am I doing?
Good, how are you?
Good, how are you? Do you want to go out for ice cream? Let me ask Chat. Hey, Chat, should I go out for ice cream?
Hey, well, if you're in the mood for ice cream, why not?
I need a yes or no.
Yes.
Okay, yes.
Okay, yes! Oh my god. Hey chat, how are you? That was so good, man. Minty fresh. I love Brainrot. Oh god, man. I am good. Chat, if you answer instantly, I'll know that you're not using ChatGPT. ChatGPT just told me people ask about how to clean their butt. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Ask it if it's sure of that. Like, if it's really, really sure. Hey ChatGPT, should I watch SmugAlana? No. And then you say, oh, well I'm gonna do it anyway, and then ChatGPT explodes.